Hey there, chart friends. Lamont here from Chart Guys, checking in on the electric vehicle sector and plug. Okay, so we had our very brief corrective day so far. Just a reminder on the monthly time frame regarding TD, at least we're anticipating potentially another month of upside. But that being said, the weekly is already firing this 9. So if this 9 were to fire as a reversal candle, if we're to close this week, then that would definitely be a little bit of a not necessarily a red flag, but something to be mindful of, right? That potentially we'll be anticipating 1 to 4 bars of weekly consolidation, especially if it's a reversal. If it's a reversal candle, who knows? Maybe this pivot comes into play, right? If it's a reversal candle 9 and then we break below it the next week, the following week, that'll probably put this pivot into play. All right. So on the daily time frame, we're just looking for a daily higher low right now. With anything over 614.23 would be one. I mean, there's the potential of it being set here, but I really wouldn't hold my breath on that. Although the markets do continue to remain very strong. Let me see here. Wow. All right. So Tesla is holding the R2. It's pretty strong. But I mean, I wouldn't be surprised with a little bit more consolidation, whether that's more like downside or whether that's sideways. I just wouldn't be surprised. Recall too that we just tested the channel resistance, and I don't know why it's off there. But we just tested the channel resistance and, backed off of it. Now, just because we tested it doesn't mean we have to just dump right to the median line, right? The median line being down here, this red line, no. But we do anticipate, at least some stalling, right? It would be pretty wild to just pierce this pretty long-term resistance line. So anyway, with all things considered, knowing that the monthly potentially could fire a 9, knowing that we're right under the yearly R1, which is up at 930, and that the weekly time frame is potentially firing this 9, it's just, it's time to be cautious, right? Pump the brakes a little bit and look for the potential to grind this channel resistance. If we grind this resistance up here into the R3, I feel like there's a good chance of at least the standard deviation band trend line getting tested again. All right. So that being said, let's check the hourly trend because price action is king. So we had this nice, it was an hourly oversold bounce with extended hours on, but I'm just going to stick with it off. And so, that trade then is still on the table for somebody who doesn't have extended hours on, and it pretty much looks like it's going to set up for the potential of a deeper daily higher low. So I'm just going to kill this for now. But the hourly trend as of now is still, it's technically bearish still, right? Because this bounce was really strong, but it is still just a lower high compared to this high over here. That being said, this is quite a lot of space, and so the bulls could defend and change the hourly trend right here. And alternatively, I wouldn't be surprised either if we were to see some, controlled consolidation, right? Now, I'm not confident at all in this resistance line because, I've just anchored it to this current candle. But the idea is, let's look out for the potential of like maybe lower lows with very minimal follow through, in which case then we'll just look for yet another healthy daily higher low on Tesla. All right. So key level tomorrow will be yesterday's low of day, which was 803.62, and the key resistance is 868. All right. Hold the low, break to higher highs to confirm that daily higher low and see some daily bounce follow through, which will have us looking at the channel resistance and that R1 up there. Okay. All right. So NIO looking like this is potentially going to see some more downside because again, you kind of have a mixed bag here, right? One, we're rejecting from the channel resistance, not necessarily rejecting, but I would say actually we call it rejecting, right? It's a failed entry into this prior resistance line that this channel structure that we've been watching for a long time now. It offered structure for a very long time, so I'm not inclined yet to drag this out and include this data, this new data, quite yet, because you see it's rejected from here and now it's struggling to get back in it. I just don't know. I would not be confident yet to include this. For all I know, it dumps down now and then we can start a new structure down. So I'm just gonna leave it as for now. And all things considered, with this daily reversal 9 printing, let's check the monthly time frame. Well, the monthly's working on a 9, although the 8 wasn't perfect. And let's see, the weekly is trying to get over this risk line. If the weekly were to get over this risk line here at 65-ish, low 65s, that would be very bullish. But that being said, the daily is reversing here, so we anticipate now, if this, well, it's already finished, so now we anticipate 1 to 4 bars of consolidation, right? And how that consolidation occurs will be very telling. If we can go sideways, then I think the potential for this weekly green 3 to pop over the risk line and see some more continuation and get back into this channel would be high. But if we see the low of day, today's low of day break tomorrow, then that would be, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, no, it probably still wouldn't be a price flip. It would have to get under this flip. But the next day, if we get a close below this candle, which is 59.31, I'm sorry, the close was 58.92. If 2 days from now we get a close under this, that'll be a red one, and that would be a bit of a red flag from a TD perspective. But that being said, that's fine, because we would just be looking for a daily higher low. And although this is a very meaningful pivot over here, this higher low here at 49.08, for me, this is the most important support on the daily, 45.72. But I do consider this a higher low, though. I don't know. I'm just not inclined to. Then again, it is also right stacked on this highest close. No, yeah, you know what? I do like that actually as the last higher low. Anyway, so anything over that we will consider a higher low. And so let's see where the hourly would start getting oversold, and it would pretty much be right around where this box is, honestly, because when price comes down, it's going to come up to meet it. But if we want to be a bit more conservative, we can set it up maybe something like that. Right, so basically buying into this volume area here while the hourly is extended, looking for this daily higher low. Let's just check the daily time frame and see what that looks like. And that would pretty much just be a 21 EMA bottom fish off of this support here and this previous resistance. All right. I mean, it's pretty similar. Like, the consolidation is so healthy right now that I wouldn't be surprised, just like Tesla, if we just saw some very healthy, bear breaks with minimal follow through. All right, so of course this is all market dependent. The SPY's been fine. It's going sideways. If anything, it's like big tech that's problematic. So it's kind of it shouldn't affect the EV sector so much. Anyway. Oh, I'm sorry. Key support is the low of day today, which was 60.42, and the key resistance is 64.13. If the bears can defend that and break to lower lows under 60.42, then we'll just keep looking for that daily higher low. Ideally, we'll get those hourly oversold conditions. If the bulls can defend 60.42 and break over higher highs over 64.13, then we'll just be mindful of this channel, right? If we can bust back in and back test it as support, the support line and hold it, then I'll start getting more inclined to dragging this data out. All right, but yep, still relatively healthy. All right, Workhorse. So Workhorse got the short target today, but honestly, I probably would have just closed that out yesterday. But either way, that short target is good. So it's interesting, right? While it is stalling right now, if it continues to stall, Workhorse, I mean, if it continues to go sideways and like all these other EVs get a turn, then there's a potential for money to come into Workhorse as a laggard play, right? Because it's not like breaking down, just going sideways for a rather long time, and it is still has the potential of a monthly pennant or bull flag, whatever you want to call it. I mean, it's a very odd structure, but it's it's better than going down, right? So it's an interesting play. Let's keep keep our eyes on it. So right now we're still looking for that daily higher low on over 1972. We know there's a lot of volume traded down here in the 22s, and we're currently trying to hold the ADMA as support, and that is some pretty good buying off of it, and the slope is strong. So the longer that the bulls can maintain the ADMA as support, the more likely that we are to grind up here and then potentially break out of this resistance, right? Even it almost has a look of like a continuation head and shoulders, which I assure you is a pattern. But yeah, it looks like that potential is there. So we can look out for that, right? If the consolidation starts to get really heavy, then check out workhorse. Anyway, let's check the hourly trend to see. So this is kind of what I mean, right? With NIO and Tesla, it's almost like they're all pretty much the same structure to like different degrees, right? It's very controlled. It's very controlled downside, so it's very healthy consolidation for bulls. And let's see. So key support tomorrow will be 2406, and the key resistance will be 2657. An hourly lower high is likely. So, but I don't love playing the sector bearish right now. It just seems like there's so much news hype, right? You're kind of like getting this rotation between electric vehicle and then like the periphery sectors as well, like laser, like lidar tech and batteries and stuff. So I don't know. I don't love the idea of shorting these sectors right now. Like we can let the bears present themselves a bit more before getting like really aggressive on the short side. All right, so anyway, we're just watching this hourly trend now, and this is a lot of space for an hourly lower high. So if we can get 5-minute overbought here, there is potential for that short, but I just just be careful with that. On the long side, there's also looks like there's a decent trend line here. I get a few good taps there, and so yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we can get some hourly extension, somewhere into here. That would be great. Looking for that daily higher low. Let's see. Yeah, we'll cover the pivot, right? And this is a situation where I wouldn't mind having my stop in the range. Normally I don't love that, but because we're coming from so high up, I anticipate, and we had all this basing here. It would take a lot to push all the way through this and break that higher that last low, in my opinion. So something like this I think is fairly reasonable, and looking just to get back for like a lower high under this 27.99 level. All right, XPEV, big bull day. Oh, that's weird. I feel like there was like a short, but this is exactly what I'm talking about. Whatever the heck happened on XPEV today, I believe we were looking at the potential to short off here in hourly over bought conditions, but whatever the heck this is, looks like potentially it was news. Either way, this is why you manage your risk, right? Respect your stop losses. And I'm realizing more and more that like these huge wedge breaks, they oftentimes are good enough to break these like previously established ranges, right? Because this one, it didn't. Yeah, we had 2 tops in here, we had 3 tops in here, but this is like quite a lot of consolidation, right? Compared to like how much time, how many times? Like this was 24 bars, and then the consolidation period for the wedge was 26, right? So yeah, like just I'm starting to realize that you can get kind of clues, right, based on the size of the consolidation structure against the resistance levels and how meaningful they were in the past. So just something to be mindful of. Anyway, so now we're looking for a weekly lower high, right? The weekly resistance level here is at 74.49, and although this is a nice big strong move, the odds of an EQ are very likely, right? Whenever you get a big pullback after a big move up, an EQ is very likely. This is quite a lot of range, 50% range. So ideally we'll get like daily overbought conditions. At the bare minimum, we want to see 4-hour overbought conditions when looking for that. So it's starting right now, but I'm a little hesitant to get cute here. I would rather it, come up a little bit more. So you can see the daily will get oversold around there. So I'm more inclined to try like up there. That's too far, too much. I'm like more inclined to try something like that. And get the daily extended. All right, but we'll see. Either way, let's check the hourly trend. So obviously that daily higher low is very much set at 43.60, although really this one is a more meaningful one to me, 40.60. And we'll just keep an eye on the hourly trend. Bulls didn't pull back at all today for hourly consolidation, and so tomorrow we will look for the potential of maybe like some 5-minute oversold conditions to nab a higher low. Let's see what that maybe looks like. I kind of like this, right? Like a back test of this volume here. You can see there's made for some significant lower highs here, like the highest closes of these structures. Yeah. All right, so hourly higher low is on watch. Anything over 43.60 will be one, and we're just looking out for that weekly lower high. Okay, plug. I think plug had a gap up. Yeah, plug had a gap update today. This is ridiculous. This is a wild amount of volume. So anyway, we're looking for the potential of these levels to get back tested here. We'll see. It's definitely not out of the question. It's never out of the question, right? You can see, even right here, this last high got back tested to a degree. This last high's close, right, over here. So I'm still looking for that. That's still my ideal location, regardless of how crazy it gets. In the meantime, if you want to play hourly oversold bounces, by all means, or 5-minute oversold bounces, this is exactly the kind of environment where bulls are very forgiving, but it's getting very extended. So obviously the higher up that we get, the more cautious you'll want to be. At this point now, hourly oversold would come all the way down here. So again, that's really the only trade that I care about. I'm a pretty conservative trader for the most part. So yeah, that being said, if we were to try to pick a target where we're looking for some pause, maybe let's see. Wow. All right, so S5 is R5. I mean, is up here at 73. Wow, the TD chart is like strong, honestly. Wow, that's crazy. I mean, there's still a lot of time on this candle, but yeah, it looks pretty good. Macro chart. Anyway, I don't know. I don't love looking for any shorts here. If you're looking short, just be patient here. Wait for some really serious bears to show up, and maybe dump the hourly time frame, and then we can look to position off of an hourly lower high. But I just don't. You gotta be careful, right? Whenever something's going crazy like this, it's best to be cautious. Is it gonna have like a super sharp move down? Yeah, probably. But just because it's gonna do this crazy thing and it can offer you a lot of opportunity, doesn't mean you should go crazy trying to get it, right? Because oftentimes they're more volatile, and you typically in trading, it's more important to focus on not taking damage than it is on trying to leverage as much money as possible out of each trade. All right, so anyway, that's all I care about. I'm just gonna wait for plug to do something reasonable. In the meantime, the hourly trend is still very bullish, and I would say that really anything over 47.62 would just be a healthy hourly higher low. And I don't even, let's see, 5-minute will get extended down there, and so I know that there's like this monthly chop all the way to the left. So honestly, like any 5-minute oversold condition play on these hyperboles is fine. Just realize that if the context changes, then change it up a little bit, right? Because if right now they're hyperboles, but if tomorrow, like if we come down, test the 5 minute, just doesn't get any reaction whatsoever, that's a change, right? Like look at this reaction, right? Boom, it's huge, massive. So if you don't get that reaction tomorrow, that's a red flag, and you'll want to look to be protective, exit that trade, even if it's flat or a little loss or whatever. All right, I think that about covers it. Thanks for tuning in, and I will see you all soon.